Take a second and think about your workflow. Is it this seamless, integrated system, or is it more of a jumble of different tools that don't really talk to each other? The answer to that question can be the difference between a team that just flies and a team that's constantly getting bogged down in friction.
So, here's how we're going to break it down in this explainer. We'll start with the foundation, where your code actually lives. Then we'll talk about the workshop, where you do the building. After that, we'll bring in the AI partner that's there to help you out, show you how to unlock its true potential with your own internal knowledge, and then finally, we'll put that entire stack together.
All right, let's dive right into layer one, the foundation. Look, any serious software project needs one single source of truth for its code. And for literally millions of developers across the globe, that foundation is GitHub.
So what exactly is GitHub when you boil it down? Well, it's pretty much the central library for all your code. But instead of documents and spreadsheets, it's designed from the ground up to store, track, and manage code. It lets whole teams work on the same project at the same time without, stepping all over each other's work.
And this slide right here, this gets to the absolute heart of it. These aren't just a list of features, they're solutions to the built-in chaos of teamwork. GitHub isn't just a place to dump your code, it's a collaboration engine. It keeps a record of every single change, it allows for code reviews before anything goes live, and it lets developers work on different features in parallel without breaking the main project. And this is so crucial. It's this organized history that makes powerful tools like AI assistants even possible.
Okay, so our code is now safe and sound in GitHub. The next logical question is, where do we actually, write the code? That happens in what's called an integrated development environment, or an IDE. You can just think of it as the developer's digital workshop.
And this table does a brilliant job of showing the two main choices from Microsoft. On one side, you've got Visual Studio. The best analogy really is a massive, fully equipped factory. It comes with everything you need right out of the box for building those huge, complex enterprise-level applications. It's powerful, but it's also big and pretty opinionated. On the other side, you've got Visual Studio Code. Just think of this as a clean, customizable desk. It's super lightweight, it's fast, and you just add the specific tools you need through extensions. That makes it incredibly versatile for just about any kind of modern development you can think of.
So, you've got your foundation set up in GitHub, you've got your workshop in VS Code. Now it's time to bring in something that's a real game changer, an intelligent assistant that actually works right alongside you.
Now, this is a super important point to get straight. Even though they have a similar name, GitHub and GitHub Copilot are two totally different things. GitHub is the library. It's the place where the code is stored and managed. GitHub Copilot, on the other hand, is the AI assistant that's sitting right there with you in your workshop, actively helping you write and make sense of all that code.
The best way to think about it is as the ultimate pair programmer. As you're typing, it's smart enough to understand the context of what you're trying to do, and it suggests not just single words, but entire chunks of code. It's kind of like having a senior developer looking over your shoulder, ready to jump in and help whenever you need it. And its capabilities go way beyond just simple autocomplete. You can literally write a comment describing what a function should do, and Copilot will try to generate the code for you. It can take a complex piece of legacy code and explain it in plain English. It can even help you draft unit tests. This is a huge productivity booster. But, and this is key, the developer is still the pilot. You have to review what the AI suggests for things like security and efficiency. It's an accelerator, not an autopilot. Okay, this brings us to what might just be the most powerful piece of this entire toolkit. How do we make this brilliant AI assistant smart about your company's specific, unique world? Right, so here's the challenge that every big organization runs into. GitHub Copilot is trained on tons and tons of public code, but it has zero idea about your company's internal stuff. It doesn't know what Project Titan is, and it definitely doesn't know how to look up a ticket in your internal Jira system. Out of the box, its knowledge just stops right at your company's firewall.
The solution here is a custom connector or an extension. This is basically a piece of software that acts as a secure, smart bridge. It connects your AI assistant to your internal knowledge bases, but it does it in a really controlled and safe way. This allows it to give you answers that are actually grounded in your company's reality.
This flow right here shows you exactly how the magic happens. A developer might type, "Hey Copilot, what are the details for Jira ticket PROJ123?" The connector is always listening. It sees that Jira keyword and immediately intercepts the question. It then securely goes and fetches the data for that ticket using the developer's own permissions. Then, it injects that data into the original question and sends the whole enriched package to the AI. The result? The AI gives you an answer based on real, live, internal information, all without you ever leaving your code editor.
So, the takeaway here is that this makes the AI just exponentially more useful. Developers get to stay in their flow state instead of juggling a dozen different browser tabs. The AI's suggestions become hyper-relevant because they're based on your actual projects. And it's all done securely, respecting all the existing user permissions. If you can't see a ticket in Jira, well, neither can Copilot. It's as simple as that.
And this is absolutely critical for any enterprise. I mean, security is everything, right? This whole process works using secure temporary access tokens that prove who you are. Your actual passwords are never, ever stored or shared with the connector or the AI model. It's a security best practice that makes this whole powerful integration possible.
Okay, we've gone through all the individual pieces, so let's just take a step back and see how all of these components come together to form one cohesive, modern development stack.
And here it is, the whole layered toolkit. You've got GitHub as your foundational library. You've got VS Code as your custom workshop. You have GitHub Copilot as your tireless AI assistant. And then, finally, that custom connector acts as the secure translator, connecting that assistant to your company's private library of knowledge. See how each layer just builds on the one before it? So what should you really take away from all this? Well, first, get your foundation right. Use GitHub as your single source of truth. Second, pick the right workshop, VS Code for flexibility, or maybe Visual Studio for those heavy-duty projects. Third, empower your developers by layering in AI with GitHub Copilot. And finally, to really unlock its power, you've got to integrate it with your internal systems.
Ultimately, this brings us all the way back to the question we started with, but now we actually have a framework to answer it. The real challenge for every single organization is to thoughtfully put together the right stack that actually fits your specific projects, your teams, and your security needs.
Because at the end of the day, the goal here isn't just about writing code faster. It's about creating a smarter, more connected, and just plain less frustrating development environment. An environment where your team can really focus on what they do best, building whatever comes next.